Hi guys! I know already a month passed, but I still want to show you what I got from Dokomi 2019. It's my third time that I attend Dokomi as an exhibiting artist, but it was my first time without my boyfriend Max. So it was quite scary but also very exciting for me. But first, look what arrived, finally! My mini manga! Sadly too late for Dokomi because the online printing service treated me very unrespectful and unprofessionally. It was such a big mess, totally worth to tell you in a story time. So, are you interested in all the bad experiences I went through? The printing has some little mistakes, but I'm still quite happy that I kicked my ass to finally draw some manga panels. And now I'm not that scared to maybe draw some bigger stories in future, so yay! It's a little tutorial book about how to take care of succulent plants, and it's still available in my online shop. I'll link it here at the right corner. I hope you're interested, and I'm really grateful about your support I get from you guys, so thanks a bunch. While I show you all the things I got at the convention, I'll talk about this year's Dokomi. Dokomi in Düsseldorf is the biggest anime convention in Germany. And since my boyfriend Max is currently not at home for 6 months, but happily back again soon, I was the only driver, so I had to manage all of the 500 kilometers on my own. And it was of course 500 back, so I'm quite proud. You must know, I get quite anxious when I must drive, but it's getting better every time I combat my flaws. Dokomi was a big topic for me this year because I missed my boyfriend of course, and I finally wanted to draw some manga panels for the first time. I didn't make a lot of pages, but at least I've tried it. I still had to work on all my university works and learn for exams, so it was still quite a struggle for me to do this in addition. And Dokomi was the only convention I would visit this year, so I really hoped it would be a success, and I think it was. I traveled with 2 friends, Lucana and Rina, and I shared my booth with Luca, and Rina was helping us and served us delicious food. She pre-made lasagna, it just had to be baked. But unfortunately, sorry it's a little bit funny, our sleeping place, we booked a small apartment near Düsseldorf, had a kitchen, but no oven. I never saw a kitchen without an oven. It was like a miracle when we stepped outside and a neighbor wanted to leave his flat and was like, "Oh yeah, you can use my oven and I'll just leave a little bit later." He and Rina were our heroes of this evening, since Luca and me had to leave so we could build up our booth. The biggest characteristic of Dokomi is that they have an insanely gigantic artist alley, usually 500 in one big hall, but this year it were about 700 artists. And this has of course some positive but also negative aspects. Positive is that Dokomi is an event where most people of the German art scene can meet, and yeah, you can kind of expect every convention and traveler artist you adore there, and you have such a big collection of art styles and self-made merch in one place, which can be really great but also quite overwhelming, I think. And then it's the question if you can still make enough money if you have like 700 other competitors around you. I'm so glad that I took part to so many postcard collection events. It brought a lot of people to our booth and I think this saved my ass a little bit. Also, the halls are quite huge, so there's enough place for everyone. Nothing is worse than an overcrowded hall with constant stuffy air. After Luca and Rina kicked me out from our booth for 1 hour, I could walk around and film a little bit. I made a little interview session with different artists. We talked about their experiences and helpful tips and tricks for conventions. I'll link it here so you can watch it if you want to. I was so happy that I could meet Rosuri. I'm a big fan of her work and I even gave her a little fan art I drew of her OC some months ago. And 2 people surprised me with their visit and this was so amazing. I was like, in shock, and overall I had the chance to see and talk to so many friends and people who like my art, and yeah, this is why I love traveling to conventions so much. And then Sunday ended and it was time to pack our stuff. It was a nightmare for me to find Gate 1, where exhibiting artists could enter the Dokomi fairgrounds with their car, and you kind of had to drive around a large parking area until you were finally on the correct street, so yeah, with lots of difficulties I somehow made it. I was very exhausted, but surprisingly I chilled down quite fast when we drove home. I only had to drive 3 hours straight because I spent the night at Violokana's home in Würzburg, and it was really relaxing in the end because the highways were quite empty. I stayed a while and Luca showed me a comic store in Würzburg. It's called Hermkäs and it's stuffed with so many books. I usually collect manga and anime art books, so I'm quite new to graphic novels and western comics, but there were a lot of things I was really interested to, so I bought them as a little reward for myself after the Dokomi weekend. I'm quite used to the monochrome black and white look of manga, so it was really interesting to see what kind of color themes these people use for their stories. Colors can show so much characteristics of the story and the artists themselves, and this is quite fascinating for me, to be honest. Also, these books have mostly an hardcover and are so large. It's a really different feel because manga are designed to be thrown away in Japan, and in the West comics are so high quality and expensive because people do collect them. I'm most excited about Skydoll because it's from the artists of the Witch series, if you can remember. I haven't read it yet, but it already looks so damn cool. Do you collect manga or comics? Or do you also collect both? Do you have any comic suggestions for me? I'm quite picky when it comes to art style, but I love stories about strong women and yeah, especially witches. A big thanks to my dear patrons, because without you I won't be able to do all the projects and travel to conventions. I suggest you to check out my Patreon if you like my stuff and want to support me. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye bye!